In 1974, the first tabletop role-playing game was created. Since then, people from all around have gathered to play. Join me as we talk with RPG enthusiasts while they share their best, worst, and favorite moments. This is You Had to Be There.
Hey everyone, welcome to You Had to Be There, a D&D storytelling podcast. Before we get started, the music for my intro was created by Michael James McGarry. You can follow him on It's MJ Made on Instagram or It's MJ Music on SoundCloud. And my logo for my show was created by Nicole Summers of the Reliably Chaotic Podcast, which is a D&D storytelling, D&D campaign podcast. If you want to be on the show real quick, just remember all you gotta do is follow the show on Twitch or wherever you get your podcasts and shoot me an email at youhadtobethere@gmail.com. That is D&D with the 3 letters DND, not the symbol. And that'll bring me to my guest today, Andrew Beck. What's going on, man?
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm excited to hear some stories. I love your background. What is that from exactly? Or did you just find it randomly?
I just typed in D&D wallpaper for
Perfect.
green screen.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's a cavern of sorts.
So you're kind of you're actually one of just a couple guests that actually have a little bit more. Why don't you tell everyone a little bit more about yourself, because you, for what you do, kind of ties into D&D.
Yeah, well, I've been an actor for about 15 years now. I do voice acting and all around super nerd, bunch of different avenues.
I feel like you find, like, the more you talk to like actors and just, there's so many more super nerds out there than has ever been expected, and I think that's kind of really come to fruition these past few years of how just so much.
I play D&D essentially with just actors and stuff, so everyone is super colorful with all of this. So that's why a podcast like this, I'm ready to dish some stories.
A lot of charisma going on all at once, even if the character's not made for it. So when did you start playing Dungeons and Dragons?
So the pandemic hit.
Okay.
Essentially last year. That's the short answer, but the long answer is so this past year in March, April, when everything shut down, my roommate works in assisted living. So the first couple of months, they were getting hammered and everything. So
right.
We felt bad, and he's been saying that he wanted to play D&D again because he used to play back in college. I didn't really play it back in college. I was mostly playing video games and stuff like that, but because I didn't learn. So we decided we called one of our friends. We said, hey, can you come up with just like a one shot? I've never played before. He would really enjoy it. Something super easy, simple, get us back into it, wet our whistle a little bit. So he did it.
Sure.
And he used some, I think it was a one shot from the Ravnica from the Magic the Gathering universe that they had. Okay. But it was fun, and he had fun doing it. So we very quickly became, it became a weekly thing where we would just play.
Nice.
Kevin wound up being our dungeon master for that first campaign, and it wound up lasting about a year. And we finished it up at the end of last month. So we're about a month removed from the end of the campaign.
So you went from so it was a one shot, but did you continue with those same characters?
No. So that was just a side one shot, and then Kevin started building the world for this next one, and we all created characters for this next one and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
So I think the first one we did pre-rolled characters, or someone made a character for me or something. Someone made
characters for you.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't even remember what I played.
Right. It's tough. I mean, that must be fun with the character creation. You guys as actors, did you kind of go a little bit more in depth with that, or for the one shot not so much?
I mean, obviously one of the things that I love about D&D is the role playing aspect. So I'm also, you know me, I'm a goofy person. I like making ridiculous characters. The DMs might hate it, but I like making weird characters that are a little bit meta, a little bit off of the general lore of D&D. My first character was in the lore of D&D. I went kind of traditional with it, but then after I branched out and did some other campaigns, I came up with some random other fun things.
I mean, that's kind of the fun. When you start out, you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. Let me just be this, what the archetype.
Yeah, that's kind of what it was for the first character. So I knew that I wanted to be a bard because bard.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, yeah, bard's fun, but it's hard to do for your first character that you're like really getting into. So I did a lot of research, and I really wanted to play a Dragonborn, but Dragonborn bards are like only okay because you get the strength bonus. You don't get everything else you need for being a bard. What?
They have some charisma bonus, I thought, though.
Yeah. I think it's +2 strength, +1 charisma.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wasn't as beefy bard-wise as I could have been, but I really just said, screw it, I want to be a dragon. I like dragons.
I made a half-orc bard. They don't get any bonus to charisma. It's the worst character I've ever made, but I hang in the pocket, and I sit with what I've done, because that's what you do. So
yeah, there you go.
So you went with the Dragonborn bard.
Dragonborn bard. He was an old man. His name was Josiah Wraithmaw.
Nice.
So he was in the old Draconic Wars, and he saw all the crazy crap go on the battlefield, and he thought, you know what, I'm going to use my music to let everyone know all the stories and everything. To tell the story. Very basic D&D like backstory and everything, but I've never done it before.
Classic bard.
So it kind of went through that. He was a copper dragon. Yeah.
What are you able to spit as a copper dragon?
It's acid breath.
Acid breath. Okay.
Yeah. Which came in handy. I remember in one of the episodes we had to like get through a floor, so I just shot it down on the floor and melted.
Nice. Yeah.
I think if it was a bad roll, then it would have not worked. But
I think that's kind of a fun combination for a bard, because it's like, kill the squishy bard and then just like
exactly, yeah.
Get away
the
from the
campaign
squishy bard.
It wound up being a lot of fun because again, we're all actors, so what he did was really smart when he built the world. So the whole thing was based sorry, first off, we did the pre-made campaign Lost Mines of Phandelver, which is like baby steps.
Oh, so is that what
we did that one recently? First, and then we finished that one, and then we came into this homebrew world about level 3, I think.
Nice.
And so we came up with all that, and then it was kind of a heist film, but in a D&D landscape. So it was a planar portals. They want to steal the planar hearts so they can control time and reality and all that. And
nice.
You need all the planar hearts. So there were 5 of us. There were 6 rooms. So each of us had our own little portal world that went with our backstories and stuff. And all of them were based off of movies, pretty much. Okay. So all of the worlds, like my episode was Bardicus. So it was kind of Spartacus. So throughout that world, it was the whole episode it was mostly we were in combat the whole time, but it was like this gladiator situation where we just had waves and waves coming at us, ogres, tigers, all that stuff. It was awesome.
I love that. I know you say like cool. you're really into role play. I like the role play, but I'm also a combat junkie. I just love
I love that stuff too. And one of the people who played with us was the barbarian, and his favorite thing to do is combat. He's a numbers guy, so he loves the combat and the statistics of D&D, which is really cool too. I like that stuff too, but
it is
I just
fun.
like
it's fun. Well, it's fun, and it's also fun when it hurts, but it's also hilarious when you're like, I just built the craziest thing, and then you just don't roll well, and you're like, this is not. Yeah. Just wait until I do something good. But so was it just you in the room doing the war room, or you all moved to each room individually?
No, so we the whole party. So like episode 1. We went to one world, and it was based off of one of the characters. And then when we finished that, we got the planar heart from like the big boss baddie of that world. Okay. And then we would come back through the portal. We would come to this celestial chamber where all the shops were, everything was. And then we would go to the next one, come back, go to the next one.
Oh, and so you could take what you got and like buy stuff and then go into the next room, kind of?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, nice. All right.
Yeah, so we would get the planar heart, it was called. We got the planar hearts, and that would be the key to the next one. Okay. Essentially, we would put that in the wall and stuff.
That's very Monster Hunter-esque kind of thing. I don't know
if
you've
a little bit.
Yeah, which is fun. That's a lot of fun. So that was before Lost Mines of Phandelver?
That was after. So
Or
we
after,
finished Lost
okay.
Mines of Phandelver to for some of us haven't played in a while, and some of us didn't play at all. Me,
Right.
but it was just a refresher to get everyone back into it, get everyone into
Hey,
the whole.
I'm pretty much in the same boat as you. It was like I always wanted to play, and a couple other one other friend I knew wanted to play, so we sought out experienced people. And my friend played but never DM'd, so he DM'd Lost Mines of Phandelver. So that's pretty much
Definitely.
that's kind of the starter, they say. But it's definitely solid.
I'm about to DM Defiance and Flan. It was an Adventurers League, five shots.
Okay.
Just five one shots straight up. Just
Okay.
do them.
Nice.
So I read online somewhere that it was a very easy one to DM. So that's going to be my first DMing experience.
Let me after this, like, reach out to me before you do that, because I found like a few DMing resources like for the computer that like combat builders and initiative trackers.
Great.
That because I was super nervous about DMing my first time, and I just Googled. I was like, is there a way to track initiative? And like you put all the information in, and it makes it so easy.
Nice.
And then for building the combats, the same thing. You're like, this many players, this level, and then you'll put in the monsters you want, and it'll be like, you're gonna kill them, or like that's too
Cool.
easy. And then so I'll send you that after this.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So
actually yesterday, all I've been doing was making tokens.
I
found a token builder online.
Still been just completely virtual. Do you play in person now with your roommates, or are you still?
We were doing Zoom. Like
You played with a couple
all three
other
of us
people.
were in the room,
Right.
and then we
Gotcha.
played with three other people who were elsewhere.
I got you. Now that
But I
makes sense.
think the one that I'm DMing, we're gonna try to do live, but we'll see how that works.
Yeah, for sure. So you had your dragon. Which campaign was the Dragonborn for? That was just that first
Dragonborn
one,
was
sure?
for the main campaign that we did that lasted a year.
Nice. What other kind of? Because again, like with the actor thing, I'm kind of curious on what other characters you've built if you've been doing.
So
this. That's
my favorite character is still in a campaign. We're playing through Curse of Strahd right now.
Okay.
And so I wanted to be a wizard, and I didn't. And my girlfriend is a big D&D player as well.
Oh,
so we
okay.
wanted to play characters where we could like interact together. And she
Right.
was like, she always plays like elf, like rangers, stuff like that. She's like, I want to be a tank. I want to be a barbarian.
Okay.
So a wizard and a barbarian. What are we gonna do in this demonic landscape?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought witch. So how can I do a witch? What kind of character can I do? And someone was, I think it was my parents or something. Someone had mentioned the old children's book Strega Nona. Do you remember that?
You know
That
what?
old kids book.
I don't.
Look it up. It's
Okay.
it's a very popular children's book series. And
Okay.
Strega Nona is this old Italian witch grandmother.
Okay.
And she cooks magic pasta in her pasta pot, and it like expands, and it's just multiplying pasta.
Oh, maybe this is triggering a bell a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. It's so it was her. So I played as Strega Nona. She was a tiefling wizard.
Okay. Did you
And,
how'd you incorporate the pasta? Did you do that? Did you get to that?
Well, I think she can. I think she has create food and water.
There
or
it is.
something
Okay.
like that. I
Nice.
took that spell because I had to.
Nice.
But she played as Big Anthony, her Strega Nona's bumbling assistant in the store. So
In
we
the
just
story?
made him this big dumb like.
That's really funny.
And then
That's really,
she
really
wanted to be a dragonborn.
nice.
So we put in our backstory that for some reason how did I word it? Like we were going to a nearby town to get blood, like animal blood, for a recipe that Strega Nona hasn't cooked in years, and she messed it up. And instead of veal blood or something, it was dragon blood. So it transformed Big Anthony into a dragon.
All right, that works. That's
Yeah,
really funny.
she's a lot of fun to play, and I'm doing it as a voice for her.
Oh,
Strega Nona. I cast a fireball the entire time, and our DM is such a good sport about it too, because it's Curse of Strahd, so there's vampires and really, really scary stuff happening in that campaign.
And there's just an Italian witch. That's what you know. What that's one. I poorly attempt accents, and I've done like a little British and Scottish, but I haven't tried an Italian. That's always good. Yeah. So what kind of what level are you at with the witch?
Strega Nona is at, I want to say, level 6 right now.
What type of wizard is she?
Well, it's a tiefling wizard. What school was she? I think it was evocation.
It's like boom, boom, boom stuff.
Yeah,
All
pretty
the
much.
Explodey stuff. The good stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's awesome. That's crazy. So you clearly are a fan of casters more. Have you been partial to that more?
So I'm in this campaign as a wizard, but
Right.
I'm playing another campaign right now, and I'm playing a Goliath barbarian.
Okay.
Because
All right,
I
so
wanted
you're
to
mixing it
try.
up.
Yeah, I wanted to try one of those.
I
We did a one shot where this will become a theme with me. I like creating, I guess, really annoying characters for the TM, but they're fun to me.
Right.
But,
yeah. It's all
So
good.
my roommate and I, the one who played the barbarian in the main campaign, so John and I, we tag teamed this idea. So I wanted to be like an accountant. So he also wanted to do something like stupid and silly. So
Okay.
we decided to be Robert Williams CPA and William Roberts CPA. We are both. So we were like a CPA team.
But you're a barbarian?
No, in that one I think I was a fighter, but it was like a
Oh,
one
that
shot.
one you were a fighter. Okay.
Yeah, it
all
was
right,
a
so
one
you
shot,
have,
so it
so you
didn't
have
really
gone.
matter.
I don't know if you felt this way, but like my first character was a ranger, so kind of distant stuff, and like I had another character, it was more distancy. It was an artificer, and then I went to a barbarian, and then that first time when you're like in the middle and you're just getting smacked around, you're like, oh, this is actually a very scary job. The
Yeah.
tank, being the tank is it all sounds
Artificers
good.
are so broken. Oh my
Oh,
god.
it's my favorite. Actually, I've built two so far just because I love the class. I call it a steampunk wizard. That's what I call it.
Dude, the artificer in that campaign, we're playing through Ghosts of Saltmarsh right now. So that's the one where I'm the barbarian. His name is Mongo. It's a little not PC, but you know what? I don't care.
Right.
So his friend is like this. I think he's a gnome. No, he's a kobold. He's a kobold artificer.
Nice.
So he's like 3 feet tall.
Yeah.
And he has like a bag of holding that
Yeah,
he
and just
found
pulls
somewhere.
out stuff.
Yeah, but we're at level 2 and he's doing like 22 damage to things.
Oh, just
it's
wait.
insane.
If you're
It's
only at level
crazy.
2, I don't know. I don't think he picks his subclass yet, but the subclasses are crazy. The artillerist, you get like a little cannon that just walks around and blows stuff up.
Oh, that's nuts.
Yeah, there's the alchemist.
I'm excited for leveling up with that one because I've never played with feats before. I always took ability score improvements.
Oh, did
so
you
I'm
roll
gonna
high
get-
for your barbarian?
Yeah, I rolled fairly high for him. He has
Gotcha.
pretty good stats. I'm going to take. I think we were talking about this at work. The Great Weapon Fighting and Sentinel are the 2 feats that I'm going to take.
Yes, yeah. They're both good feats.
Yeah, it makes sense for him, especially when you're in a frenzy and rage and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, Sentinel's a really, really dirty one. I didn't get a chance to use it, but I built a Bugbear Rogue Barbarian, and I gave him Sentinel because he has a
Nice.
15-foot reach with a whip, so it's really stupid. But yeah, that's definitely good
That's
feats.
some innovative weapon work, Tom.
I have... Oh, yeah, I did some bad things. I don't want to do it on the podcast because it's not about me. It's about you, but I'll tell you another time. All right, cool. So you have all these awesome characters. What has been like... what have been like some of your favorite moments you've been playing for... You mean you've been playing for only a year, but you've been playing like consistent... Or a little over a year now, I guess, but like very consistently.
Yeah. So there's so many that come to mind. In the main campaign alone, there were just so many great moments that happened in each individual episode that were so like for our character. So one of the characters was this like pirate assassin who went crazy, who didn't tell anyone his identity. And he was like this assassin for, I forget the name of the like organization it was, but him and his sister were in this organization, and his sister was thought to be dead and stuff. So he was the focus of the second episode of that campaign. And it was based off of Hunt for Red October, which was really fun. We had a big submarine battle, and it was so cool the way he did it. I
actually want to know, like, how did he run the submarines?
Yeah, so all of us had different jobs throughout the submarine. So like 2 of us were on the cannons, and we would roll like strength checks to fire the guns, and if it rolled well, it would do like 2d6 of torpedo damage or something like that.
Nice.
Like I was a perceptive character, so I was the navigator. So if I rolled shitty, we would go off course and we would have to like take a turn or something like that. It was very cool the way it worked.
That is really cool. That's like it's really exciting, and it must have been fun because it probably moved pretty fast because you're just kind of rolling through everybody's job. So like even though, because like sometimes those finicky things in a combat situation can make it drag, but if you're like, this is your job, every time it gets to you, we're gonna find out if you can do your job. So that's kind of cool, as long as no one like screws with it too badly, because like if someo's like,
we were relatively tame. We were relatively tame with it, but
that's really cool.
Another some of the funny things that have happened in that campaign, the Hunt for Red October episode, we did all that, the summary battle, we won, and we woke up the next day and the person whose episode it was not there, and we find out that he's been kidnapped, and the DM and him go off on this side thing with the two of them, and he has to fight his like the corporeal form ghost of his sister in this like one room, and she's dealing him so much damage, and she is messing him up, so he dies in that one fight that he's supposed to win. He winds up dying, so the DM was like, you know what, let's go back to the main room, let's go through the portal, and you get to go in the revitalization well that's in the middle of the room that I didn't tell you about before. So he gets revived, nice, and he's like, that is the one time I will do that. Anyone else dies in this campaign, they're dead.
That makes sense.
But it was so early in the campaign, it was like maybe 2 or 3 months in, that he kind of was like, I don't want to, and it was such a cool character with a backstory, so he didn't want to kill it off.
Yeah, that happened too.
And then he leveled up a lot and wound up being like the strongest character on the party, or one of them.
That happened to, so my first guest, Peter Zeff, I play with him, and that happened with our DM. Essentially, he was like, we're in this fight, and he's like, I'm gonna throw a fireball at them. It was our first fireball, and Peter just looks down and he goes, I'm dead. But like dead. Like, he doubled his hit points, and he was like, oh. And he just went, I'm going to let you just roll the death saves. And then Peter just goes, natural 20. So he dies and just pops back up. I know that's his story to tell, but I was there for it, and it was like hilarious. So I definitely get it. And that happened to me once too. I was one of the one shots that I ran, I was like, I guess they would focus fire on you because that makes the most sense. And then I just like fired it, but I crit twice, and then my friend was like, I'm dead. I'm like, no, there's a one shot too. Like, you're not dead. We're 20 minutes into this. Yeah. So there are those times.
Yeah. In that campaign, I was, Josiah almost died. He was.
Yeah.
Yeah. He almost died. It was, I think I was on, I was on one more death save left. If I rolled lower than a 10, I was dead. And,
wow.
They wound up killing him before my turn could come again. So I was like, oh, yes, thank God. Yeah, I was saved. Saved by the bell.
Nice. All right. So that was that, the torpedo. So he died. He brought him back. Did he react to you guys when he came back? Was he like, I died?
Yeah, we tried to get out of him how you died, because we didn't see it happen.
Right.
In the campaign, and then he wound up telling us about his sister, and he was lying to all of us about his like backstory and stuff, so we didn't know the real backstory, and I guess that was the DM's way of revealing all that, which was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that is
fun.
Nice. That's good, like, way kind of forces him to reveal some things.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
and the last episode of the campaign, where we fight the final like big boss. We went to this like celestial chamber where there was a giant clock in the middle, and it was like the main like time clock. You get the planar hearts, you activate the time clock, and if it's destroyed, all of reality is erased for eternity. So one of the party members decides that he's going to, on his first initiative, first action, first thing he can do in combat, all right, I'm going to dimension door into the middle of the time clock and shoot an Eldritch Blast. So he tries to do that, and he takes 12d8 of damage.
Oh no.
And dies. So on the final boss, a character died immediately. First action. We were like,
what was it? Just because the clock that was its move anyway?
I think there was a reaction maybe written in if someone tries to mess with the clock or comes within 5 feet of it or something.
Oh my God.
It kills the shit out of you.
That's hilarious. So that's the final.
Yeah, it was really bad. Final boss battle.
Final boss battle. I got this.
Yep.
Dead. Oh my gosh.
Yep. The way he described him dying too, he just exploded and bubbled and popped.
Oh no. And I'm guessing you didn't have like a
it
cleric in
was
your
a sad
party or
death.
anything? There was no one that could revive him?
Oh, we did, but he exploded
Oh, he was just
into many
too
pieces.
far gone, I guess? Whoa. Oh my God.
Way too far gone.
I mean, it's crazy. I haven't, like, other than that one that, like, was retroactive, I haven't seen any of my comrades or any of my characters die. Have you had any of your characters die yet?
Not yet, no. Again, Josiah almost died, but he did not.
Nice.
Stregonon has been going strong. Mongo has not been in a situation where he can die yet.
Nice. Do you circle back
Goliaths
to
are very...
They're hardy.
What I found is that... Say that again?
We'll go back to the Goliath. You say Goliaths are what?
Goliaths are really good early game, and I didn't even realize that. They have a Stone's Endurance, which is a really cool ability. You get to essentially negate damage up to a 1d12 plus 3 or something like that. It's so good early game.
That's so dumb, yeah. That's like most damage in the early levels. And if that's like a racial trait. Well, what I was going to ask is you said they're still going. So do you guys circle back to all these other characters kind of? And like you just play different campaigns with them?
Yeah, I mean, when we find time, we're all busy. So when we find time, we can come back and play it. But D&D wise, I'm preparing for the 5 one-shots for Defiance and Flan that I'm going to run with. It's essentially everyone from the Curse of Strahd people that I'm
nice. No, that's good.
Going to run that with.
It's good to start. It's good to mix it up and have some other things going on.
Yeah, I'm excited to start to DM. It should be fun. There's a lot of NPCs in this world, so a lot of different voices.
That's good though. I mean, it's cool. I'm sure you'll be better at that because you do that. My first one shot, I specifically sought one out that had like 2 NPCs. But my players, when I ran it once, and then another group I ran it with, I like set the stage. I was like, they need help. Go to this person. And I was like, what do you guys do? And they're like, we go to the bar. And I was like, oh, guess I'm gonna make NPCs now. Like,
we go to the bar.
We go to the bar. And I was like, all right. It didn't even start in the bar. Nice. All right. So you kind of been dabbling around. So with this one shot, you said it's a series of them. How many players are you having in it?
There's going to be 4 player characters.
4 player characters.
Four party members.
Did they roll their characters yet for it? Have you worked that out, or
one of them did? One of them did.
Nice.
Yeah. He's going to be a what was the race? I forget the race, but he's playing a monk.
Monks are cool. I haven't played one yet, but watch people play them, and it's very cool.
That's one I want to try. I think Druid is the one I want to try the most.
Druids are crazy. There's a lot of the Druids have a lot of really cool subclasses too. Like some of them, like the wild shape. You use the wild shape thing for like other ones. There's one you can like create a little fire elemental. There's a bug one. I don't know. There's really crazy. I still want to play a cleric eventually though, because the clerics are so crazy.
Yeah, clerics are good. Cleric is a super cool class.
Nice. All right, so what other kind of fun moments have you guys had as a party? Or bad ones? I mean, the one with the clock was pretty rough.
Oh yeah, that was really brutal. That was really brutal. But in the Barbarians campaign, it was kind of Braveheart-ish. So we kept having dreams like on our long rests, and he would go to like each person and say, you have this dream, you have this dream. He kept getting dreams of him on the battlefield, and he turns around and just sees an axe go to his like face. And it was like a Braveheart battlefield. It was like his ancestors and stuff. But so it wound up where we got a pet. So he got a pet war boar. And he was like, I don't know what to name it. Can I wait until the next episode on what to name it? So Kevin was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. he wound up being named Ricky Henderson after the baseball player. So it's just us and Ricky Henderson, the war boar.
The war boar.
And the DM voice for it was fun. He got his own little stable in the waiting room in like the main town area that we were at in the chamber.
Part of the team.
Yeah, and he survived the whole campaign.
That's good. He
survived the entire campaign.
That's there's a couple. I have one familiar, and then there's one where I have like a pet squirrel that I just got, and I'm like so afraid. I'm like, you stay here all the time, and like I don't know. I don't think I could handle that. I can handle my character dying, but my pet, my imaginary pet, yeah.
Yeah, Kevin's character is going to have a flying monkey in Defiance and Flan, which is a lot of fun.
Wait, you said that was the one that was just made?
Kevin is the DM from the main campaign, and he's going to be a player in the one that I'm DMing.
The one you're doing, and he has a pet.
Yeah, the monk. He's a monk with a pet monk. A monk with a pet monkey.
Monk with a pet monkey. Okay,
yep.
Cool.
Pet flying monkey.
Pet flying. Oh, flying monkey. So what do you?
Yeah.
What are you doing for? Are you reskinning it? Are you giving it stats? Like, how are you? Do you know what you're doing with that yet?
There's a stat block for it, but I decided that since these one shots are like going to be hard for them, I don't want all that stuff. There's going to be a lot of combat in some of them, so I don't want them to go too crazy with their things in combat. And the thing only has like 3 hit points anyway. So I said that like, all right, it has a DC of, it's going to have a DC of like what, 12 maybe. Right. You can have it go scout for you. It's not really in combat. It can hang out in your bag or something. Can
he talk to the monkey?
Yeah, he can talk to the monkey. I don't see why not.
No, but like understand it. They can understand each other.
Oh, I'm not sure. That I'm gonna leave that up to him.
Okay, because yeah, the monkey can scout, but it was just like, he's like, what's that?
It's like, Lassie, what's that?
Yeah,
Timmy's stuck in the well.
That's good. Well, that'll be fun for you because you get to be the monkey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Nice. So let's see. You have so you've had. Let's go through. So you had your first character and then the bard, the wizard, the barbarian. What were the other ones that we were missing? Was there any other ones there?
Well, I played the fighter for a one shot. The accountant. I don't know why I made him a fighter, but
that's right.
He's fighting for your taxes.
Yeah. Did the accountant did he? What was his main objective? Yeah, he was a fighter, but did he stop to do people's taxes in the meantime? I think
the backstory
I know it was a one shot, but
was that
who cares?
Him and William Roberts, CPA. I think they were contracted by the tavern to do their taxes.
Okay.
And something happened where they needed to get more forms from something else, so why not go on this adventure with everyone else?
Yeah. You gotta earn some coin. To fund the
that character. I was laughing my ass off making him. I'm gonna go to my character sheet for him right now, because what I did was I was in my mind, I said, you know what, maybe there actually is a guy named Robert Williams and he's a CPA. So I typed Robert Williams CPA into Google, and I literally took the guy's resume, copy and pasted it into my backstory. He graduated from St. Francis University in Pennsylvania with a Bachelor of Business Administration and Accounting. Robert is married, has 3 children and 2 grandchildren. In his spare time, he enjoys spending time with his grandsons, watching sports and reading.
That's hilarious. I mean,
so I just made this rigid man.
That does sound like a CPA name. That makes sense.
I'm going to swing my greatsword now.
Great sword.
It was a ton of fun to play him. I'm very glad he didn't die.
I think if I had a CPA, if I saw a CPA with a great sword, I would listen to him for sure. Do the taxes or die. I don't know. That's
I'm looking through this character sheet now. On enemies on D&D Beyond, I wrote hippies and tax evaders. His mortal enemies.
Oh man, how would that translate? Oh man. So hippies, okay, so he doesn't like druids. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I guess he doesn't like druids.
Dirty hippies.
Maybe he doesn't like rogues, I don't know.
Maybe rogues, yeah, they steal. Yeah, that's true. Thieves. Okay. See, now if we keep this going, we make him a ranger, and now he's got favorite enemies. He can track them. He can track, what do you sense? I sense an extortionist right here. They see that? That's really good.
Yeah, I remember that one shot rolling really well all the time. So he was just like laying house down.
He's just crushing it. Nice.
Oh yeah, he was playing great. But for roles, like great roles that I've had, I remember in my episode in the main campaign, the Spartacus episode.
Okay.
I remember once we like got through the gauntlet and everything, he gave me a chance to make a performance check at the end of it to like win over the masses and the crowds and everything. And my charisma is already +4 at this point. So I had like a +9 or something in performance. So I would have rolled great no matter what, pretty much. But I rolled a natural 20 on that charisma check. And I played like he described that I played this like beautiful symphony on my lute, and like everyone was moved to tears. Like my legend will be spoke of in this dragon land.
Yes, there's not. I like when you're a bard and you're like they're like roll the performance. You're like and you crit on the performance or charisma check. You're like, yeah, I'm crushing it right now.
It's great.
Shredding it.
I didn't flirt with as many people as I wanted to though. But he's an old man dragon. He was very old. He's more the like Sam Elliott type.
I gotcha. My bard, he's a half orc, whose mother was an orc and father had a thing for really, really thick women. And he loves elves, and what he says is he goes, the thing I love about elves is I keep getting older and they seem to stay the same age. So he's currently trying to woo an elf that runs a shop, and he's very excited because it seems to be going pretty well.
I have a feeling that's going to be happening in Defiance and Flan. The inn is run by Madame Fiona and her 5 daughters.
Oh, nice.
So shenanigans will ensue.
All right, just wait. Hopefully, all right. Do you know if any of your party members are going to go with something like a bard or?
I don't know yet. I'm not sure. I think my girlfriend Laurel, she wants to do a spellcaster of some sort.
I gotcha.
Because she normally plays like melee and ranged characters.
That's cool.
Yeah,
the
so
bard's
maybe.
tricky. I don't know. Do you? Well, you said you played Magic the Gathering. I always equate the bard to like a blue deck because it's like very controlling magic. It's very like weird and like it's So you gotta have.
That's where all of this stemmed from. It was Magic the Gathering. I think the first real big RPG experience for me was on SNES. Was Chrono Trigger and Super Mario RPG, and then right after that, Diablo 2 took up all of middle school for me.
I gotcha. So you've always
really
been
just those.
So you're always really big into RPGs and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then card games kind of came after that. This is even more nerdy than D&D, but there used to be a wrestling WWF at the time card game called Raw Deal, and me and my best friend at the time were nationally ranked at that card game. I was like, I wound up when the game ended, when it stopped being printed, I was ranked like 500 something in the world. He was ranked like number 48 in the world. It was insane.
That's so cool.
He was in the top 8 qualifiers
That's so
in the
cool
world.
and dumb at the same time. No offense. Like it's just like you're like,
totally.
It's
so lame.
I know a guy who was like number 2 in the world
fun,
at yo-yoing, and that's like really high up there.
Oh my god, that's great. That's where all that stemmed from. And then after that, it went to Magic the Gathering, and we still play Magic here and there. But my game right now is just Hearthstone. So Hearthstone is my card game now, even though it's virtual. It's
cool. Like it's interesting because I never really got into RPG games like that. I never liked turn-based video games, but for some reason, the way this plays feels like so much different to me.
Yeah, so I just like the deck building aspect is really cool to me.
Yeah, I play Magic the Gathering, but like when it comes to like Super Mario, like the RPG Super Mario, like I had no interest in that. I'm like, no, that's not Super Mario to me. But it's like fair. I don't know. It's funny because I hear about these like themed D&D campaigns where they'll do like a Ninja Turtle one or something. I'm like, oh, that sounds fun. But like if for some reason if it's on a screen to me, I'm like, nah, I'm not taking turns. I'm gonna kill this thing.
Right up my alley.
But, yeah.
I saw a funny meme today that was like, a homebrew D&D where it's Benjamin Button, where you start at level 20 and your character gets weaker and weaker as you go on.
Right. Nice. Did you have any kind of other stories that you wanted to share? Anything that cool, fun, crazy comes to mind?
Oh yeah, so Curse of Strahd. This is one of the thing that shocked us the most, even almost more so than the character exploding in the time clock. So Kevin in the Curse of Strahd campaign.
Time's Up for the record.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Gotta write it.
Rest in peace, Malice. That was his character name.
Gotcha.
So Kevin in the Curse of Strahd campaign is playing Professor Ambrose von Riesling, and he's kind of like a Van Helsing type.
Okay, nice.
So he's like this 35-ish, like really rugged, like vampire hunter. So we're in Castle Ravenloft. I don't want to spoil too much for people listening who haven't played Curse of Strahd, but so we encounter this dollhouse. And in the dollhouse, we find, with an investigation check that went well, we see that it's a smaller version of the room we're in, the house we're in, and us. Okay. So and as we move, the dolls are moving too. So there's like a puzzle happening in the room where we know that we have to get to a room on the other side, but there's no entrance for it. And we couldn't, for the life of us, we couldn't find a secret entrance or anything. Okay. So Ambrose von Riesling gets the idea to look inside the dollhouse and try to destroy the wall so it would happen in real life, right? In where we are. Okay. So he thought that was the key to the puzzle. So he looks in it. He looks in, and as he's going more insane, looking into this like maw of the future and the past and the present all simultaneously happening, he breaks the wall down and everything. And I just see the DM just look at him through the Zoom like this, get the dice out and just go,
oh no.
And the reaction to the dice, and he looks at his notes and goes, okay, Ambrose von Riesling, as you stare into the maw, you feel the hair on the back of your head blown back as you cannot grasp what you are seeing. It is too much for your eyes to behold. You age 20 years. So now there's this old man in the party, and I'm playing this old witch, so now I'm flirting with him. He's flirting back with me. It was just so shocking because I didn't even fathom at that point. I didn't even fathom that something like that in D&D could happen. But you know what? It's D&D. Who cares?
Oh yeah, man. There's some time stuff.
20 years.
20 years is a lot. I had a character age 1 year, maybe. That is a lot. Oh my god, that's actually a really, really hilarious story.
His face when that happened. Oh my god, what?
Oh my god.
Oh, it was so funny.
That's hilarious. Oh man, that now I might even think this. I might need to think of a new title. That's a really great story too. That's. I'm sure your party has a lot of chaos going on, being all actors and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
That's really, really good.
We try to still move the story along. We don't try to get too off track. Sometimes it happens. Like we had for some reason we had an affinity for breakfast in the main campaign. Every single morning, all right, what do you want to make for breakfast? Let's make a breakfast roll. Let's make a survival check, make a nature check. But every morning we would have this lavish breakfast, different things and everything.
Fantastic.
It was very sad when we had the final breakfast before the last boss battle.
Was that which one? Which campaign was that?
That's the main one.
The main one? Okay.
Yeah, the celestial clock.
The clock, yeah. So what was the final?
Based on the different movies.
What was the player's final breakfast before? Do you remember?
I think we just had a shitload of bacon and eggs.
That's how I'd want to go, man. Bacon and eggs and dying in a clock. No.
Give me all the bacon and eggs you have.
I'll have all the bacon and eggs you have. Yes, me forever. That's awesome, man. Cool. Do you have any other?
I'm sure there's a ton, but
yeah, no worries. You excited? Yeah. You excited for your first DMing experience?
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm already doing a couple of the maps. I think two of the 5 one-shots I think I have down, and I can do them like today if I were asked to. So
absolutely.
Yeah, so it'll be fun. It'll be fun to mix their backstories with it too, and add a little spin on it.
Absolutely. I will. I'll send you those things to help. And then
definitely.
From one new DM to another, the other thing I could say is don't plan too much because I wrote notes and I had like sheets and I was ready, and then everything gets bypassed at some point and something will happen.
Yeah.
And you might think it's a clear cut path, but then they'll find a way to be like, oh, we don't have to do this at all. And
yeah, that's why I'm taking the fourth one shot out of the 5 is the one that I'm running first.
Okay.
Because it's like the most problem solving storyline wise one, and that's gonna like open up the world for them a little more. So I wanted to do that one first, and then give them a level for when they go into like the more combat heavy episodes. There'll be a level 2.
But I just mean like the play. Sometimes even the people who write them, there can be a flaw in there, and someone will find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the one I had, they had to just relight this lantern, and the oil was like too readily available, and there was this whole dungeon crawl they were supposed to do after that. They were supposed to find this hole in the wall, and they see the hole in the wall, and they're like, well, no, we have the oil. And then they just lit the lantern and left. And I was like, that's it. All right, you're right. You won. So, but yeah, I'm sure it'll be a really good time. I can't wait to hear all about it. Thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Tom. That was awesome.
Absolutely. I will.
Lots of fun.
Let me just say thank you to anyone who's listening. If you're listening live on Twitch, all my other episodes are on pretty much anywhere podcasts are fine. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those things. If you're listening on podcast, you can follow the show on Twitch to catch us live while we record the episodes. Again, my name is Tom DeSillis. I'm the host. I'm also a stand-up comedian. You can follow me on Tom DeSillis Comedy on Instagram, and at T DeSillis Comedy on Twitter for updates on shows and stuff like that. And this has been You Had to Be There, a D&D storytelling podcast. If you want to be on the show one last time, you just gotta go to just email me at youdtobethere@gmail.com. Once again, that is DND with the 3 letters, not the symbol. And thanks for listening, everybody. This has been Andrew Beck.